Mr. Gonzalez, I read with interest your testimony. It was so angry, so I thought I'd try to lighten things up a little bit. Who are three of your favorite characters on Daniel Tiger, or what episodes are your favorites?
Representative Khanna, thank you very much for the opportunity to lighten up. I think I've taken a time machine here. Sesame Street went to HBO.
Daniel Tiger, do you have some favorite characters? Oh, the owl, any of them?
No, none.
What does Ugga Mugga mean to you?
Nothing.
You've never heard the expression Ugga Mugga?
Yeah, I don't think so, no.
It's affection. Have you ever watched a Daniel Tiger show or know any families who watch a Daniel Tiger show?
I don't think so, no.
You've never watched one? You have
I've never
strong
seen Daniel
opinions
Tiger.
on it,
Sorry,
do you know what Daniel Tiger is a successor to?
And I don't know Daniel Tiger, so I don't know what he's a successor
No, the
to.
show. What it's a successor to? Do you know?
No.
You really don't know?
No,
Honestly?
I really no. I'm on the
You know
oath.
all the history. It's a successor to Mr. Rogers.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah,
Nah,
I mean-
Mr. Rogers, I know.
Okay. Are you familiar with his 1969 testimony?
I am.
He said, I want to quote, because it's one of my favorites. I studied this actually going to school. It's some of the most effective testimony in Congress.
Make it clear that feelings are mentionable and manageable. We will have done a great service for mental health. I think that it's much more dramatic that two men could be working out their feelings of anger. Much more dramatic than showing something of gunfire. I'm constantly concerned about what our children are seeing. And for 15 years, I have tried in this country and Canada to present what I feel is a meaningful expression of care.
Do you narrate it?
I'm the host, yes, and I do all the puppets, and I write all the music, and I write all the script.
Well, I'm supposed to be a pretty tough guy, and this is the first time I've had goosebumps for the last 2 days.
Well, I'm grateful not only for your goosebumps, but for your interest in our kind of communication. Could I tell you the words of one of the songs which I feel is very important?
Yes.
This has to do with that good feeling of control, which I feel that the children need to know is there. And it starts out, what do you do with the mad that you feel? And that first line came straight from a child. I work with children, doing puppets in very personal communication with small groups. What do you do with the mad that you feel? When you feel so mad you could bite. When the whole wide world seems oh so wrong, and nothing you do seems very right. What do you do? Do you punch a bag? Do you pound some clay or some dough? Do you round up friends for a game of tag or see how fast you go? It's great to be able to stop when you've planned a thing that's wrong and be able to do something else instead and think this song. I can stop when I want to, can stop when I wish, can stop, stop, stop anytime. And what a good feeling to feel like this and know that the feeling is really mine. Know that there's something deep inside that helps us become what we can. For a girl can be someday a lady, and a boy can be someday a man.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. Looks like you just earned the $20 million.
Senator Pastor was a hard-headed fiscal conservative. Said he got goosebumps by that testimony, and it's what convinced him to fund the public broadcast. You've said you wouldn't have funded it. Do you think Senator Pastor made a mistake back then?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think I agree with Fred Friendly, who testified and
you
said...
you would have voted against?
I would have voted, yes, I don't think that you should have state broadcasters.
Now, what is the cost of public broadcasting as a percent of the federal budget?
I don't know, but it is
I mean, yes, come on, you're talking about the $36 trillion of debt that we have. You're saying this is a really important thing that we need to cut. You didn't research out what percent
it's
it is?
important in principle,
Well,
and
no, but you
it was...
said the principle is a different thing. You're saying this is an effective strategy to cut debt, and you have no idea what
It was
percent.
5% of the discretionary
point-
cuts
it's
in the
point-
GOP.
It's 0.01%.
Right, but it was 5% of the discretionary cuts in the 17 budget.
0.01%
Right.
of the federal budget. That's one of the reasons Senator Pastor said, it's worth it in an investment in American kids. Now, you said Sesame Street is a private organization, or Sesame Street is going private. I didn't understand that because Sesame Workshop is a nonprofit. What did you mean by private?
Well, I mean, it's a nonprofit. It's separate from.
But it gets public funding. Were you talking about the HBO thing?
Yes,
Do you realize that HBO just canceled with them? And
I do. Yes.
And the reason they canceled them, and I'm trying to explain why Senator Pastor funded this, and if you talk to families who watch Daniel Tiger, maybe you'd appreciate it. The reason they canceled it is because it wasn't making a profit. See, because when you try to do Daniel Tiger or Sesame Street, and you try to do what Mr. Rogers was talking about, helping the emotional and social development of kids, it's not easy. You got to hire people who are child psychologists. You have to hire people who are educationalists. A lot goes into this. And HBO said, you know what? It's not making money. We rather put on things that are geared towards adults or that are going to be conflicts. We aren't making money on this. And the whole reason Senator Pastor said that we're going to fund this, I know you kind of mocked in your testimony the kids, but the whole reason was that when you make programming for children to help their social and emotional development, it costs so much money to do, and it's a public good, then not everything has to be about profit. Do you have any idea what it takes to produce Daniel Tiger, who all they hired? Did you ever try to figure it out?
No, but I can tell you that the market said that there wasn't enough demand for it, and that's the reason why HBO got rid of it.
Right.
Because there wasn't enough demand.
Yeah, so that's exactly the right point. Are you saying that everything in American society needs to be driven by the profit motive? There is not enough demand on getting ratings for things that help the social and economic development of kids. But you know what Mr. Rogers understood, what we've forgotten in this country? Some things are more valuable than money. At a time where a country is polarized, I wish we had a little more empathy and caring, and that's not a partisan issue. That's an American issue, and I would recommend you re-watch that testimony from Mr. Rogers. I hope the whole country would watch it.
I have watched it, and we are $36 trillion in debt.
It was said that we're attacking free speech. This is paid, this is state-sponsored speech. And the very reason why we have these witnesses before us today isn't because they're totally being funded or completely being funded. We're not bringing in Disney Channel in here, right? We're not bringing in the National Geographic, right, for their content. The reason why we're having this conversation is because we are funding you, and because we're funding you, the taxpayers get to have an opportunity to ask, why are we funding some of this content that they might disagree with? Right?
Yeah, no, that's completely right. In fact, I think that PBS and NPR, but especially PBS, will thrive on the membership model. They keep saying it's such a small percentage. Well, if it's the public funding, if it's such a small percentage, then no problem.
Yeah.
We could
So,
do
Ms.
better.
Maurer, I'm going to ask a very difficult question, but if you're in my shoes and you have to face the fact, can we fund Social Security or do we spend money on NPR? Which would you choose?
Congressman, I would argue that in one of the
If you had to pick, if you were forced to make a decision, there wasn't enough money to go around, Social Security or NPR?
we know how important public media is to our nation's seniors, sir.
More important than Social Security. I think the
I'm
American
just-
people would disagree.
I think that
Ms. Kerger, let me ask this.